Welcome to In the Batter's Box with Charley Lau Jr. Today you're going to get some tips on hitting from an expert, and you too will learn the necessities of what all great hitters have in common. Right now we're talking about a great hitter, Alex Rodriguez, and notice where he starts his bat. It's on his back shoulder. A lot of hitters, the vast majority of the hitters, if not all of them, start with the bat somewhere close to this position so they don't have that wasted motion. So they remind themselves where that bat is, where it needs to go. We call it going from point A to point B. So this is a great picture to show the launch position. In this next picture, you're going to see Alex at the point of contact. Notice the back knee, how it's pointed back towards the pitcher, as well as that back heel being up. The front leg is firmed up at the point of contact, which projects all of the energy that Alex has generated to deliver it at the point of contact. So if you're looking for somewhat of a perfect photo, actually this was a home run. Right now you're looking at the king of swing, Miguel Cabrera. This gentleman won the Triple Crown last year. It hasn't been won in several years. And you notice that great follow-through that Miguel has, and he's able to use the whole field and also have power at all fields and hit for that high batting average. So if you're looking for a clean, beautiful follow-through, this is a good picture to look at. Another one of my favorite hitters, Josh Hamilton, left-handed hitter, obviously. Josh is so big and strong and yet maintains such a fluid swing. And again, you notice these great hitters, the vast majority of them are getting that top hand off the bat. They're getting great extension, and you'll notice that one-handed follow-through. It doesn't need to happen all the time, but we are working on extension. So you'll see players in batting practice working on getting that top hand out of there and perfecting their extension. The next hitter, you're going to see the barrel of the bat. This is Ryan Howard, who's hit over 40 home runs for a number of years now. You're going to see his head is behind the swing, and the bat is slightly tilted, the barrel, excuse me, is slightly tilted downward. And this is what a home run hitter tries to do, to get the ball in the air, to hit those home runs. And you'll see his head is in a real good position, seeing in baseball, and the shoulders are tilted. That's what happens when you get into a good stance and you start to go to the baseball. A lot of people will say, oh, he's dropping his back shoulder. Well, his back shoulder has to drop in order to get into a good hitting position. So there's no hitters out there that have level shoulders as they're swinging the bat. So again, Ryan's in a real strong hitting position. Notice his right arm is across his chest, and his left elbow is close to his body, which means he's in a strong hitting position. He's not making contact too far out in front of home plate. Here's the diagram that we did with Alex Rodriguez, and you can see, Alex has the barrel slightly underneath the ball. Again, we talked about this prior to with Ryan Howard. He's getting underneath the ball because he wants to get the ball in the air. Again, you see the shoulders are tilted, the head is behind the swing, and Alex is making solid contact in a good hitting area. He's not getting beat by making contact too far back, and he's not making contact too far extended. This is a very strong hitting position. Again, notice that front knee, it's firmed up. The back knee is going towards the baseball. So when you look at the back hip, the back knee is connected, and as that rotation of the back hip starts to occur, you're going to see the back knee get into the swing. So this is a good analysis. Another great slugger, Matt Kemp with the Los Angeles Dodgers, has really put up some good numbers as of late, the last couple of years. He's young, and again, notice that follow through. He gets through the baseball, has that great extension, and notice that lead arm gets extended all the way through the ball. If this lead arm gets extended, then you're going to finish with that lead arm extended. I'll give you another shot. If you get extended, then you're going to finish with that lead arm extended. It's a great photo after the point of contact. Here is a real good example of a player, Mark Reynolds actually, is getting fooled. You see how this is called a lunge. You can see how he's making contact you can see Mark making contact way too far out in front of the plate. The hips have stopped rotating, and in this position, you'll see a lot of younger players do this. You'll see major leaguers obviously too, and that's why pitchers throw curveballs. They want to try to trick us. They want to try to get us on our front side and get us in a weak hitting position so we cannot hit the ball with authority. So again, this is a lunge. This is what we want to stay away from. But as we've learned, hitting is not a perfect art, and we fail much more than we succeed. So this is actually quite a nice picture for you pitchers out there. Here's a great swing. Notice the back hip coming into the swing. The front leg is firmed up, and well, it's not quite firm yet. You'll see Raul, what we call pulling the knob to the ball, which creates the bat speed, and you have that bat lag is what some experts will call it. And again, you see the barrel starting to get underneath the ball, and that upper half of the body's over. You see the shoulders tilted, and the head's in a real good position to watch the ball leave the ballpark. Okay, here's Alex again. Notice where the contact area is. Notice his right elbow is pretty close to his back hip. You can see the left arm coming across the chest. So the closer the hands are to the body, the more leverage we have, the more the body can support the swing. And right here is a great, this pitch is on the outer half of the plate, and you see the bat angle in its correct position to hit this pitch on the outer half of the plate. To me, this is a very long stride. I believe that the longer the stride, the more bad things can happen in a baseball swing. We want to try to simplify the baseball swing, and the wider you get, the more things mechanically can happen incorrectly. So this swing looks like he's a little out of control, and as I said, the wider the stance, the longer the stride, the more bad things mechanically have the potential of occurring. We have a hitter right here. This is what many hitting instructors or some baseball analysts will call staying inside the ball. Again, earlier we spoke of pulling the hands towards the baseball, or pulling the knob of the bat towards the baseball. And you can see the pitch in a location, so the hands are staying, again, what many people call inside the baseball, as opposed to getting your hands away from you, where you lose leverage and you lose that ability to have your body support your swing. Here's a great home run hitter with the Toronto Blue Jays. Jose Bautista has hit a lot of home runs the last few years, but you can see the way that his body is positioned right now, that he obviously got fooled on a pitch, and you notice that his arms are extended, and he's trying to slow the swing down because he knows he got fooled. So you see him trying to slow the swing down, and again, pitchers are trying to throw off-speed pitches, curveballs, change-ups. They want to see this hitter in a weak position, either way far out front or fighting the ball off and being too vulnerable, making contact too far back. This is the hammer, the all-time home run hitter, Hanley Ramirez. A lot of people have said in the past, old school beliefs were that you stay on your back foot when you hit. Well, obviously, with this picture, you can see Hanley Ramirez on top of his front foot. And they didn't have hitting instructors back then to give advice or suggest solutions. So again, here's Hanley Ramirez, the all-time home run hitter, and he's on top of his front foot. This is contradictory to what we've heard the old school beliefs describe as far as a successful swing. So again, success doesn't lie, it leaves clues. Here's a great hitter right now, Hanley Ramirez. Always just came up, had that great extension. You see that follow through. It's picturesque for me. I love to see the great extension. And these hitters learn many of these successful swing mechanics by watching other hitters do it, maybe watching in the home run hitting contest, and they see these guys getting that great extension and that great follow through. And so these players typically will copy the more successful hitters in the game. And you see that Hanley takes his swing every time, so it must be working for him. Here's a great picture. Barry Bonds had some phenomenal years, and as we talked earlier about the hands pulling the knob of the bat to the ball, this is a perfect example of that. And you can see again that back hip starting to rotate, which brings the back knee with it. So the body's connected, and the body has to perform certain correct sequences in order to deliver maximum force at the point of contact, and Barry Bonds did that quite often. Here's a picture of Mr. Ibanez when he was with the Phillies. This pitch was down the middle. You can see the path of the swing, and what I would describe this as a hitting instructor or an analyst is that he's getting around the ball, meaning the barrel is getting around, and he's basically pulling a pitch down the middle to the outer half of the of home plate. But again, he has good leverage, and the result was a home run. Again, another great example, pulling the knob. You see the back knee coming into the swing. The front leg has not firmed up yet because he has not gotten to the point of contact. When you see the point of contact, that front leg firms up and again projects all of that energy that the hitter has stored into contact and delivers as much force to the baseball as possible. Here's a great shot of Matt Holliday going to the baseball. The pitch is on the outer half of the plate. And notice how he's pulling that knob to the baseball. So wherever the location is where your hands and that knob of the bat are going to be going to. Wherever the knob goes is where the barrel is going to get to. The other thing, notice the strong upper half of Holliday, Mr. Holliday, as he has his upper half over. This keeps his weight in a very strong position where he's balanced throughout the entire swing. So again, notice Matt with that upper half over, and again, the knob of the bat is going directly to the point of contact, which is on the outer half of the plate. Notice this is Evan Longoria with the Tampa Rays. And again, we talked about the bat angle, and when we're trying to hit home runs or we have an opportunity, we realize it's a good pitch, we can get the barrel slightly underneath. This is a real good example of somebody, a great young hitter, getting what I call slightly underneath the ball to get the ball in the air. And based on this photo, I would say that the pitch is middle in, and obviously middle in, he's pulling that baseball to left center down the left field line. Here's another great photo of a pitch inside. Notice where contact is made, and as you see the body's moving towards the baseball. Obviously, if the body's moving and the pitch is inside, the body's moving towards that location. So you can see, based on the way the body's structured here in this picture, you notice again the barrel getting slightly underneath the ball, and Mr. Rodriguez is hitting a home run to left field. This is Justin Morneau of the Minnesota Twins, and obviously he's getting great extension. That front side is firmed up, and the other thing to notice here is when you do have that great extension, the top hand stays underneath. It doesn't roll over prematurely. So if you're looking for a perfect photo, you'll notice that Justin's right hand, the knuckles are facing upward, and again, that top hand is underneath. It's not rolling over, and it's not cutting the swing off prematurely. Thanks for joining us today on Inside the Batter's Box with Charley Lau Jr. Hopefully you got some great tips and you learned a lot from this session that we did together, and you can apply all of the things that you learned today to become the best hitter that you can. Sweet swings.